This video will discuss evaluating quizzes and removing problematic questions. I'm here in my sandbox and I have a quiz down here called Week 1 Quiz. I've had 5 test students who've already taken the quiz, and say I want to get an idea of how the class did. I can click the arrow and choose Statistics, and here I can see the distribution of their scores as well as the users. They didn't do so hot on this quiz. But I can also go up here to the top and look at question statistics. And when I look at these question statistics, I can go question by question and see were there any questions that were particularly difficult for all of my students. And here I see this question 4. Nobody got this question right. And so I want to look at that question and see, was this a fair question? This opens up in a new pop-up window, and I can preview the question. This is just a sample question, and I can look at it and say, okay, here was the right answer. Nobody got this answer right. Okay, maybe this was a little tricky. So now I want to consider throwing out this question. How would I do that? I could go back to Manage Quizzes. And there's my quiz list again. For Week 1 quiz, I can just click to go to the Edit view. And here I can click Add Edit Questions because I want to edit the questions that were included in this quiz. Here are all of my questions. In this case, there was no pool or there were no sections or anything like that. And so the question 4 is the same as I saw in the statistics. This is something that you want to verify if your quiz questions are random or if you have sections. But in this case, I want this question 4 here. And once I select it, I can go here and delete the question. Yes, I would like to delete the selected content from the quiz. And so now my total points for the quiz went from 15 to 14. I can go back to settings for quiz week 1. And if I scroll down, I can see here that now my quiz only has 14 questions instead of 15, and it's only worth 14 points instead of 15 points. I can go over here to the assessment tab for the quiz. In Tier 2, I can verify that the quiz will now be out of 14 points instead of 15 points, where a 14 out of 14 will be 100%. So any students who missed that question number 4, that has just been removed, and their new grade is calculated out of 14 points instead of 15. I'll click Save and Close. And now if I go back to look at the statistics for Week 1 quiz and look at those question stats, the question 4 is now a different question 4 where some students got it right. That question that had 0 students getting the question right has now been removed. There's one last thing I need to do to make sure that students' grades are calculated properly. If I go to Tools and Grades, and then click on Manage Grades, here this Week 1 quiz is still out of 15 points in the gradebook. So I need to edit this grade item so that it now is out of 14 points to match the quiz. So I can click the caret and click Edit and scroll down. And here, instead of being out of 15 points, this quiz is now out of 14 points. And then I can save and close. Yes. And so now the quiz is out of 14 points. So when I look at my students' grades for quiz 1, now their percentages should go up because it's only being calculated out of 14 points instead of 15 points. And that's all you need to do to evaluate individual quiz questions and remove any problematic ones that you find where lots of students are missing the same question. Be sure that you address the question both in the quiz and for the gradebook item so that they continue to match.